You are here because life feels fine. But you are done with fine. You know you are made for more. And you've asked, is this it? Too many times now. This isn't just another episode. This is your permission slip to turn fine back into fire. We're Charlotte and Kat, coaches through and through, but more importantly, real women who've been there. We help women come home to themselves and create a life that feels exciting, energizing, and completely their own again. Around here, we get real conversations, real stories, and real transformations from the women in our community who dared to go all in. If you're ready to stop existing, to stop settling for fine, and to start truly living, welcome home. We are back.
Hello. Wow, this is exciting.
Oh, everybody, welcome back to the Authentic Girls Club podcast. It was so funny, literally, a few months ago. I was almost quite like mad at us, wasn't I, Kat? And I went, Kat, why on earth haven't we done the podcast in literally like months? And then what did you say
And
back to me?
just a really subtle reminder. I was like, we chose to take a strategic break because you had a baby.
Yeah.
So because you had baby Evan, now it was July last year, July 2024, that
Mhm.
we hit pause on it because
Yeah.
obviously Evan was then born in the September. So it's been just over a year since our last episode. And yeah, it was an intentional break because you're going into new motherhood again, and that time is sacred, right? So yeah, when you said the other way,
Yeah.
you're like, why haven't we done it? Like really miffed at us. I was like, we've kind of been a little bit busy. You more so than me. And you're like, oh yeah, that's why.
That was why.
So yeah, but we're back. We are back with a bang.
We are back. And I think we're back in such a different light. Like I listened, so we've been listening to some of our old podcasts, and I'm like, even our voices have got a little louder and
Mm,
stronger, and
mm.
the messages are all still there. But I think so much has happened over this past year that, we've journeyed home even more, haven't we, back to our authentic selves. Like our confidence has increased again and gone to another level. Like we've done things that we've proved to ourselves that, oh my goodness, yes, we can do that. And it's been a huge growth year, hasn't it, in many different ways?
It really has, and it's incredible because it's just proof of what's possible in just 1 year. Like the growth has been phenomenal. The personal growth between us, the evolution, like you say, the confidence, the just going for it, the conviction, you said the journeying back home to self. Like I've never felt more like myself, and for a long time, I really dimmed all of that.
Yeah.
And I've been working on that over the past years, but just in this last 12 months, I feel like we've both risen up stronger, bolder, more us, really using and feeling confident in our voices and who we are. And that's what we're
Mm.
going to be sharing today, really, is it those learnings and how we've got to where we are. And it is a continuation. It's never a done. It's never a closed book, isn't it? And that's
Yeah.
the approach we have, the growth mindset, the love of learning. Every layer, every level that we kind of
Yes.
unlock in life, there's room for growth, and that's a choice in itself. So yeah, I'm just really excited to get in today about like what we've been up to, where we've been, but most importantly, what that has allowed us to do and create. And of course,
Absolutely.
to our beautiful listeners, it's all available to you as well. So let's do it.
Absolutely. And actually, I'm like, this is where we need to start. What's been the mantra, Kat? What's been the mantra of the year?
Oh my
Because I
gosh, like Cat 2024 would never swear on a podcast, and Charlotte certainly would not. Um,
know,
but yeah, our mantra has been fuck it and find out.
yeah, book
And
it and
that's
find out,
fuck it and find out.
literally.
Yeah.
Do you know, guys, I've got a really funny story. I did a post on this, didn't I? And I put it on my social media, and my dad messaged me to ask if I'd been hacked.
Do you know what? When you told me that, I love that. That your dad reached out to you because you put a post on and you swore.
Hmm.
And therefore, in his mind, because that's not you, you had been hacked. And I just think that is so beautiful.
Mm,
And just, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because you've got known for the lady that doesn't swear. And you
exactly.
got gifted recently from one of our members
Hmm.
beautiful pin badge and that says "fuck this shit." Um, and
If I wear that, my dad would be like,
yeah,
what
yeah,
is going on?
come on, yeah, put it on the inside of your jacket.
Yeah.
But this is the evolution, isn't it? And I just find this really interesting and really, yeah, really quite
Mm,
liberating to just own it. And yeah, how did tell us a little bit about that actually? That kind of putting
yeah.
that out there.
Because that was big because, and actually, I think this as a mantra hits more probably because I don't swear. And it's a very intentional swear because it's like, come on, Charlotte, go for it. Like,
Yeah.
why on earth not? And without the swear word, actually, it doesn't have the same effect. So when I say, fuck it and find out, it hits me in my heart and goes, yes, rise up, do it, see what happens, Charlotte. And I really feel it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing with having a mantra. It's having something that just anchors you into where you want to be. And obviously, I've had many throughout time, but this past year has definitely been that. And I know it's been that for both of us. And that's been said many times in our WhatsApp, hasn't it? It's literally like one of us has an idea. It's like, F it and find out.
Yeah, so I just want to unpack that actually, just in terms of like what does that it's a cool mantra, but what's the deeper meaning
Yeah.
behind it? And therefore when we share that with each other, like what has it got us out of? Like what are we typically in when we need to hear
Yeah.
that mantra?
That's so true because actually it's probably when we're in a little bit of overthought, right? And a little bit of we've had this idea, this heartfelt idea land, and then it's those seconds where sometimes that mind comes in that almost we need that interjection of something to go back to heart and to go
Mm.
back to where we're meant to be. And yeah, that's a really great thing to know, actually. Would you say the same?
Yeah, definitely. I think overthought is for me personally is the thing that gets in the way. Um,
Hmm.
it's the overthinking. So let's say you got the idea. Let's just use a social media post. You're
Yeah.
contemplating it. Is it going to be right? Is it going to land? Is it the right message? Is it the right language? All these kind of things that creep into our mind in these moments when we're doing something that maybe is new, out of a comfort zone that we've never done before.
Hmm.
And it's in that time that, like, if we just allow ourselves to get to run away with all of that, or what will this person think, or will this upset somebody, or all of
Yeah.
these what ifs, that is the overthought, and it can come hard and heavy and fast. And so
Hmm.
for me personally, this mantra has been, you don't know until you don't know until you know. You don't know until you
Yeah.
give it a go. So it's
Yeah.
fuck it, find out, give it a go, see what happens. And it's then that,
Mm.
well, what's the worst? Because what we're sat in probably in those moments is fear
Yeah.
that it might be wrong, is fear
100%.
that it might not work. But we won't blow in no until we F it and find out. And then we do that. And then we go, oh
Mm.
shit, that was awful. It didn't work at all.
Yeah.
And we
And
go,
that's
oh, it's
okay.
okay. And that's okay because we choose a growth mindset and we choose to go, right, it didn't work. It didn't land this time or
Mhm.
yet. What are my learnings? What can I choose to see, was off, or what can I pull from that to grow further? And that is our approach, isn't it? That
Yeah,
is a growth mindset,
it
and
is.
that's an empowered choice. And I think when you think about it like that and apply this to many different things in life, not just a social media post, if you take that approach and that kind of
Mm.
circular approach there, like you're the thing, it's scary, I'm not going to do it, and then I move into, well, maybe if I just give it a go and see what happens and be okay with it not maybe panning out exactly as we'd hoped, but
Hmm.
choosing to take the learnings then we're creating momentum, then we're creating growth, and we can keep moving forward with that. So it's essentially just not closing ourselves off and not doing the thing and just doing it, whatever that
Yeah,
is.
yeah, absolutely. I love what you've kind of picked up on as well in terms of the learning, because it's not about there's also kind of a bit of strategy that maybe comes into it as well, because I know we've kind of been in a kind of, what's the word? Mm, not, this is not me being harsh on us,
Just say it, Jack. We can take this. We can take it.
but thinking that we're doing everything and actually
Mm.
maybe we're doing the same things over and over and expecting a different result. And I think it's always a bit of a pattern you can find yourself in, because it's comfort, right? You've pushed your comfort zone once, and then you forget that you've got to keep pushing your comfort zone if you want to keep growing and keep going to the next level. And it's a pattern you can get into. Whereas I think the other element of fucking it and finding out is also picking up on the learning and actually then using that, using what's working, doubling down on it, going again. And that
Yeah.
again can be related, in terms of business, in terms of life. Like, so even it could be like a conversation with a husband, that kind of
Mm.
you think, fuck it and try it, like just say it, or
Yeah.
oh, like how could I like if it didn't go down so well, how could I have done it differently? And like kind of just taking the learnings, double down, and then go further. So I think there's also that element to that as a mantra, which I think has really helped us this year, rather than getting into the habit of doing the same things and just hoping that there's a better result. It's like, no, there is a better strategy behind it as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that is a sign of insanity, isn't it, really? Doing the same things
Yes.
and expecting a different result. So it is
Mm,
breaking that pattern and stepping
yeah.
out of that loop. And of course, we are huge advocates of raising our awareness. We use
Hmm.
journaling as one of our favourite tools to do
Yeah.
this, because you've got to spot those cycles first, haven't
You
you?
have.
You've got to really
Yeah.
recognise that you're in them. You go, right, this keeps happening. And let's use relationship as an example, because I think we can all relate to this. Like, if there's just it feels like for a while there's just been something off, and just whatever that looks like for you, let's just say, but it's a constant that keeps showing up. It's going, well, why does this keep recurring? Why does this keep happening?
Yeah.
Right, okay. And you kind of go on this little curious fact finding, judgment free, critique
Hmm.
free little mission to go, well, okay, well, we both keep approaching it in this way, or I keep approaching it in this way. And when you start to get curious and inquisitive and look into, well, what's going on here, that's when you spot those patterns, isn't it? That's when you spot those loops of the same. And I know, personally speaking, in the past, like when I've done this, I've recognized that usually my feeling, my warning, I suppose my red flag is a frustration. Like,
Yeah.
frustration for me is
Yeah.
usually a
That's
good
same.
signal that I'm stuck in a loop of some point, because I'm
Mm.
annoyed, and it usually comes back to me because I love to take radical responsibility for myself.
All about the radical responsibility.
Always, right? So I'm like, oh, shit, I like, oh, I caught myself out again almost. I'm like, damn it, it's me. I'm frustrated because there's a change I want to make, and that's not
Mm.
me changing people. We know that's
No.
not a
Yeah.
thing. This is an internal change for me, or an external behavior change, or a habit change, or something. And I'm purely sat in the frustration because I'm doing the same things. I'm not making the change. I'm not, whether it's the discipline, whether it's the consistency, whether it's the out of the
Hmm.
comfort zone, whatever that change looks like. And therefore I'm just getting stuck in frustration. And then that's my signal to go, okay, right, well, here's the loop. And then we go into, what do I need to do that's different? And then we go, oh, well, that feels scary. And then we go, well, fuck it and find out. It's just,
So yeah,
it is a beautiful unfolding of a self
it
strategy
is.
to help yourself move forward, isn't it?
It is. It is. And sometimes don't you think we can find ourselves in that place where you do feel like you've tried everything and like, that just it's just not happening or anything like that. And I always when you were speaking, it came to me, come back to Tony Robbins. Was this what you were thinking as well?
Yeah, I can hear him. I can hear
Yeah.
him on my head going, have you? Have you tried everything? That was the shittest impression of Tony Robbins, sorry. Sorry, back over to
But
you,
he
Sharp.
said to literally, if you've tried everything, you'd be there now. Like,
you would be there now. So you haven't tried everything. And that is radical responsibility. And it is. And this is what we're here for, because that is where our power is. Yes, it's not easy. It's the hard choice in the beginning to go, right, like we cannot change anybody else, but we can change us. And yeah, in terms of that, like we can change what we're doing to get a different result. And
Mm.
that is it, isn't it? That is just, yeah. I
Yeah,
think I'm finding out, like literally,
yeah. And just
just
on
do it.
change and owning it and
Mm,
responsibility, there are obviously things we can't change. So we can
mm,
empower ourselves to change
yeah,
ourselves. And then there's the external, isn't there? So like we already touched on, other people,
yeah,
events, situations. And that's an interesting thing to really, really recognize, isn't it? Because we can empower ourselves through our own personal change. And then we can make a decision and kind of what we can do with those things we can't change. And I know the biggest thing for us both along these journeys, and a lot of the ladies that we work with, is that release of that, almost like, well, I
yeah,
can't change those things. But again, bringing it back to self and the radical responsibility is I can change how I respond to them. And
yes,
that's that kind of that control part in a
mm,
positive way
yeah,
that we bring back to self again. So it's like, super simple example. We've mentioned this a million times. You're stuck in traffic. You can't control that, but what I can control is how I'm responding to it and get, yeah, really pissed off about it, get anxious, annoyed, frustrated that I'm late, etc.
mm,
Or I can choose to call in to, let's say I'm meeting a friend. I'm so sorry, I'm running late, I'm stuck in traffic, it was unforeseen, I didn't predict it, I didn't make it
yeah,
happen. It's just happened.
yeah,
Um, but I'm going to let you know I'm running late, and I'm going to just then, I don't know, whack on a song that I love and just have a sing in the car, or whack on a podcast, or chat with you on the
yeah,
phone while I'm,
yeah,
on my way to see you. So that then brings that back within, and that will
hmm,
have such a shift on the outcome and how you feel.
yeah,
Like, you're going to feel
100%.
better if you bring that back within, and choose differently. So yeah, I think it's just worth just reflecting on that, isn't it? That if anyone's listening, going, but yeah, I get that, girls, I get that I can be responsible for myself, but other things, the people, the situations, I
Mm,
can't, and that's what's frustrating me. So it's another layer of radical responsibility to just take that and go, okay, but what can I do to feel differently about it? And
yeah,
that's a journey in itself, isn't it? That's growth.
yeah. And there's a little anchor as well that I read about, and it was we have the initial emotion to something,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have the emotion that we attach to that. And actually, that's often where the pain or the frustration lies, because it's actually what we've attached to that initial thing. Like we
Mm-hmm.
can't control that initial emotion, but we can accept it. But then it's what we do with that after, isn't it? And that's, I suppose, the response as well, isn't it? And it's tweaking that to get the result that we want to get to.
Yeah.
But that was quite big for me because yeah, something would happen. I'd feel something and then I'd be big on that like emotion on top of that. Um, that then sent me west because
Yeah.
it was that meaning that then I attached to that thing that was happening. And I think that's also where our power is, right? Is
Mm.
actually choosing that meaning,
Mm.
choosing the response, and what gets to happen after that emotion. Um, yeah.
And that's the land of triggers, right? Because
Yeah.
more often than not, it's a response based on a response we may have had in the past, because a thing has
Mm,
happened in the past, and then it's triggering us again. Um, and we recently had, didn't we?
yeah.
One of our members say that she's just not triggered anymore by certain things, certain events, certain people, places. And oh my gosh, what when she said, you could see it and feel it,
Mm,
that is that
yeah.
is the that is her truth.
Mm,
And that's that responsibility part that she's took, because she's gone that, well, the past doesn't equal the future. And
hmm,
actually kind of, she's kind of looked into that. Well, why am I being triggered? What
yeah.
is it actually, is there something within me that I want to shift?
Yeah.
And what can I do, and what can I do differently? So yeah, it's knowing that we can work with that, and get a
Yeah.
different result for ourselves.
What can I do that? She said, shit, I'm completely like untriggered. Like
Mm.
literally like, what? And I think you do after this work, you get to this space and there's the it's quiet. and there's a
Yeah.
bit of calm, and you're like, because that would have been filled with the trigger, the reaction, the mind goes off on a spiral here, mind goes off on a spiral there, and like there's just this breath, isn't
Mhm.
there?
Yeah.
And then it's like what you can do with that. And obviously, we still have these things that crop up. Growth never finishes. There's still moments that'll catch us out and we'll go, oh my gosh, what's this about? Then we get detected and we figure out what it is. But yeah, so that as a mantra, that has been kind of the epitome of our year, right? And I think it's going to be the epitome of all that we've got to come, and kind of an invitation to anyone listening as well to just go for it. Go
Yeah.
for it. Do that, whatever that looks like. And we kind of as well have been sat thinking about, like, we've had so many women now. I think we've had over 500 women through the Authentic Girls Club doors impacted by the work that we've done. And there's a common thread that all of these incredible women, us included, get to a point in life where we're settling and we've outgrown the life that we're living. And there is so much fire inside and so much want for more, but we're quieting it and we're shushing it and we're sitting on it. And boom, the frustration goes like this. And this is about going, right, that fire is there for a reason. This is my new beginning. This is the beginning of my next chapter where it's me first. And I get to see what that fire is and actually work on that fire, nurture that fire, get it absolutely, those flames are popping, getting it out there, right? And I think that's been such a beautiful thing that we've kind of sat with recently as well, isn't it? And just seeing like every woman that we have had that absolute like pleasure of working with in this way has felt that. And I'm like, it's such a common thread. And I'm like, yeah, no more, guys. If you're
No
listening
more.
to that and you feel that, oh my goodness, you are in the right place. You are in the right place to ignite that fire. So yeah, just thought I'd share that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're right. These, I think there's so much clarity actually has come through for us over these past 12 months.
Mm,
Just really going for it and just starting before we're ready on whatever that looks like. And that's one of the best pieces of advice we've ever been given, isn't it? Start before you're ready, because you'll never
yeah,
start if you don't.
yeah.
Um, and you're right, that is the common denominator. We work with
Mm,
so many different women. We've had so many different women in our world, all different walks of life, whether they're mums, not mums, uh, working full time, working part time, not working at all, starting a business, not in, you name it, loads of different
mm,
walks of life, loads of different reasons they come into our world. But yes, that common denominator is they're at some point or in that current time they're thinking, like, is this it? Like, and
mm.
they know they know it's not.
Yeah,
But there's this kind of toing and froing, should we say, between, well, oh, should I just settle? Maybe some guilt around, and I talk totally from the heart here, because it's exactly where
yeah,
I was just a short few years ago, sat feeling like I got everything from the outside, and did have it all, but so why am I still feeling the way I was feeling? Why was I still
yeah,
feeling a little unfulfilled? Why was I still feeling unsettled, restless, knowing there was more inside of me, not having a bloody clue what the more looked like, but you just can't shake that feeling, right?
yeah,
And that's what the ladies that are working with us or have worked with us and continue to work with us have, that is this it feeling. And yeah, I just want to second what you've said, Charlotte, is that it's the permission slip here from us that you don't have to settle.
mm,
Like we don't have to settle.
yeah,
And again, we've heard, words of like, well, I'm just existing, I'm just going
mm,
through the motions, it's a daily treadmill. And I'm like, what the fuck
mm,
is going on? Because surely there's more. And there is. And you can have it all. And you can
yeah,
explore that. And when you do, what we are seeing is you drop back into alignment. You come back home to yourself. You unshrink. You peel off the layers. You peel off the shoulds. and you go, well, this is me, actually. I'd
Yeah.
kind of lost her a little bit. And, full transparency, when I met you, Charlotte, yeah, I was running a really successful business that
Mm.
financially gave me the time to go do whatever I wanted, and still does. But I hadn't got a clue who I was or what I wanted. I gifted myself this abundance of time, but I was scratching my head thinking, well, I don't know what I want to do with it, because actually, who is
Yeah.
Kat? Who is Kat under the mum, under the entrepreneur, under the wife, the friend, the fixer, the people pleaser? Okay, I could go on. I don't have any fingers and toes. Um, but I'm like, what lights me up? Like, what brings
Mm.
me joy? What's my opinion? What's my
Yeah.
boundary? I mean, don't even get me started on opinions. My
Yeah.
opinion was whatever you wanted it to be, to
Yes.
make you feel really comfortable, and that you were right. Like, oh my God, I look back at Kat, whatever version that was, and I'm like, I feel sad for her, because she sat there just
Mm.
so small and so shrinking, and going, just the nodding dog, going, yeah, yeah, like, I agree with that. But inside going,
Yeah.
oh, I really dislike what you're saying. Like,
Yeah.
it
Isn't it
really
mad?
jars with me, but I
Mm.
can't make you feel uncomfortable. I can't do that. Oh, yeah.
And is that where you would say you felt really different and like you
Mm-hmm.
didn't really belong in any place? Like
Mm-hmm.
that was the same for me. Like I was like, someone would say something and I'd be off on a tangent in my head of what I would have liked to respond, but never said it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's just ridiculous, though,
Yeah.
Charlotte. You obviously don't get it. Like shh, don't say that. Like this just that not so there was so much like, and now I look at it and I'm like, that was my true heart wanting to come out, and that was my head going, no, stay there, that's
Mm,
not safe. Like
mm.
and it wasn't, when you look at it as well, probably wasn't anything bad that was going to be like wild, and like it wasn't,
No, no, it's not like a
wildly.
highly opinionited, like, come on, let's get controversial and bring on an
No,
argument
let's have a
here.
fight right here, right now.
No, no,
No.
it's just those subtle things. And I'll give you an example of kind of where I feel I started with that, actually, in terms
Yeah.
of bringing forward actually my true thoughts. And I've always felt really, really uncomfortable when somebody makes a comment about somebody, whether they know them or not, and actually probably more so when they don't know them. Somebody makes, let's say I'm in company with a friend, and that friend makes a comment about a stranger that's unkind, that's a
Mm.
comment, it could be commenting on, like, I don't know, what they're wearing or what they look like. I've always felt so uncomfortable in those moments.
Yeah.
And an older version of me would have either just kind of really uncomfortably left that off,
Mm.
worse, gone along with it, and that makes my toes
Yeah.
curl. So for me, I really feel like that was almost my starting point, where my response became no response. So I'd just
Yeah.
be silent. So somebody would make
Mm.
a comment like that. And this didn't happen a lot, but I just felt this is a really good example, because I just
Yeah.
feel this in my body. And I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't
Mm.
giggle. I wouldn't respond. I wouldn't jump on board with, oh God, yeah, look at that. I would just remain silent. And that was the
Yeah.
beginning. And that allowed me to grow that confidence to do that. And then now it might look a little it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen
Mm.
anymore. And whether that's because I'm in different spaces with different people, or whether they now know that that's a boundary of mine, and Kat doesn't like
Yeah.
do that unkind shit for no reason.
Yeah.
Anyway, um, and now, if it ever did happen, I'm like, I will voice that. Oh, well, like, why have you felt the need to say that? That's really unkind. Like, you don't know that person. And if you didn't
Yeah.
find it every
Yeah.
single day in their shoes, you would be that exact person. Like, let's
Yeah.
not. And that's a different story. And the whole judgment piece. I don't like to judge a person until I educate myself on them. But that is just the example I'd like to give there, on how it started for me in a real
Yeah.
subtle, small way, and how that's then grown into,
Yeah.
actually voicing my opinion in whatever
Yeah.
way that looks.
Just on that, I had a really random conversation with an incredible man. at the farm club one time, and he said that he found himself judging people, and what he made himself do was anyone that he's even thought, not to voice and judge, but if he ever thought or a judgmental thought dropped in or anything, he made himself go to that person and have a conversation
To get
and
to know them.
to get to know them. And he said, like, the amount he learned from doing that was mind blowing. Like, because he actually just took that time to understand that person and not judge. And I think like that's so beautiful, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
we don't know somebody else like at all. And even to kind of carry that into and just bring it back a little bit to the being the change as well. Like sometimes, and even in my, family setting right now, like it's been a journey for me. Like I think I thought I understood my husband, but I think I also push my thoughts into his sometimes. And actually, it's been a really beautiful journey to grab that power back, be the change myself, and actually take the time to understand him more. And that's been a big growth journey. And it's actually impacted hugely in terms of obviously the third time round with Ever now having third baby. And it's meant that there's no resentment this time round. Like there was probably the first two times because I feel like I just wiped my life out and, kind of just lost myself in the whole process. Whereas actually, I feel like I've done all that I want to do. And I've also taken that time to then understand, not just assume that I know what he's thinking.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
just to bring that back as
absolutely.
well in terms of being the change, because we don't know what's on the other side. And also,
No,
yeah,
I was going to say just on that actually that you just
yeah.
touched on. I'd love to ask a question. So obviously now you have two beautiful girls and Evan, and you've shared with me openly that when you had the girls, you hadn't really done the work that you've done in the most recent years. So I would love to ask, what has it been? What is it like raising Evan after having done the work, the inner work?
It makes me almost quite emotional to think of how disconnected I was when I had the girls and how much, and I say this with real compassion, but how much pain I caused myself, like so wrapped up in shoulds, so wrapped up in like worrying about what anyone else thought. And I've had this really recently dropping because I'm still breastfeeding Evan. And I stopped breastfeeding the girls very, very early because of external factors, because it was making other people feel uncomfortable. And there were certain comments, and they weren't made out of hate, like at all. Like they were very loving comments, but it was just what they had been modeled and what society had kind of pushed on them in different ways. And it made me stop too soon. And I just this time round, I'm so in tune with myself. I've got the confidence in myself. Like I know what's right for me, what's right for Evan. And of course, there's still external noise, but there's a really beautiful boundary there that I know that that's nothing to do with me and everything to do with everybody else. And it's almost like this just, yeah, I love it. I think I always used to think boundaries were like really solid walls that didn't let people in. And actually, I've come to learn that boundaries are really just protectors of your energy and really beautiful, like almost little like bubbles around us that just can, that stuff that we don't need, it bounces right back off. Like, I don't need that. Like, I don't need that in my world. And I think that has meant that I just don't feel the guilt. I don't feel like I'm getting it wrong. Yes, I get it wrong sometimes, but I learn and I move on and I get it right the next time or the time after that. Or, so I've walked into it empowered and I've stayed there and I've learned more about myself rather than losing myself. Like it's been a huge journey to get to know myself again and to also heal parts of my first two times being a mum. And as much as there's so much joy around there, and I look back and like there's no regrets here, wow, there's a difference, a huge, huge difference. And it's why I kind of look at some, like we've had ladies who have entered motherhood, like being in the club, haven't we? And I'm like, I'm so happy for them that they've had that connection and they've reflected back to us the difference that that has made, like, you know, in their motherhood journey. And I'm like, oh, to have had that first, like, I'm so happy that they have. And I think it's just, whenever you do it, it's incredible. But yeah, that connection to ourselves is just massive.
So would you say that on reflection, it's a really powerful thing to do going into motherhood, as in
100%.
the inner work?
Yeah, yeah. Like to know yourself, to believe in yourself, and to know that you don't have to let all that external noise in, like that's massive.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, because it really does highlight the power of this work.
Mm,
And just reflecting on what you shared in terms of, breastfeeding with the girls and breastfeeding with Evan, and kind of having had done the work, your confidence, your boundaries, knowing what's best for you, knowing what's best for Evan, just being really in tune.
mm,
This that the work has allowed you to do that, right?
yeah.
And it just shines a spotlight on it. It
Mm,
really does.
yeah. And it's never ever too late to do it because I think I look back at those times when I was in suffering, like I was so up in my head, so blocked. Like I always talk about when I first started this journey, I felt so wrapped up in cords. And I think those cords were all those stories, all those shoulds. Like I felt like I just wanted to break free of them all and breathe. Like it just felt tight and heavy and And bit by bit, this work allows you to cut those cords and free yourself and breathe and move and experience that space, build that belief, build that confidence, listen to your voice that's so in there, but sometimes all of the shoulds and all of the cords don't allow you to listen. Um, yeah, like I always kind of come back to that as an analogy of how I
Mm.
felt like in the beginning. Um, and it's just so freeing bit by bit, just getting those
Yeah,
clippers.
yeah. There's clippers. There's clippers. Let's get the clippers out. And the outcome, the result of that is the mental freedom and the inner peace, right? And the
Yeah.
alignment.
Yeah, yeah, and we've got this coming in future episodes, guys, where we've spoken about this in more depth, but just that calm in mind,
Mm.
like the space in your mind, like what an absolute gift to give
Mm.
yourself, like just yeah, not so much noise and negative noise. Oh my goodness. Like I said, I used to call myself a positive person, and I was to everybody else, but oh my goodness, if you spent a day in my head, that was not a positive place to be and to live. And there was no chance of thriving in there. Like no chance. Like putting myself down literally left, right, and center. Um, and we will kind of obviously this episode today is just a real kind of overview and kind of where we've got to, isn't it? But there's so much that has happened over this past year that I know we really want to kind of dive into in more depth, don't we? And really kind of, you know, dig into. Because obviously the birth of Evan was what kind of kick-started that in a huge way as well, which I will share. But should we kind of just do just a mini catch up of just kind of the things that have been happening this year?
I think we could just list out what we've done, and then
Yeah,
yeah, like you say, we can go deeper in further episodes. But
yeah,
it's just been really great to get back on,
it
reignite,
has.
relaunch. We've got some blooming incredible episodes already recorded, coming to
Yeah.
you, real, raw stories from the ladies that are in our world. And oh my gosh,
Mm.
wait till you listen to those.
Yeah,
Um,
literally.
that's incredible. But yeah, I mean, wow, you had a beautiful birth with Evan.
Yeah.
What
We've been
else have you been up to?
networking, haven't we?
Yeah,
And really just we've built some beautiful connections, and it just makes me so grateful. Like I feel like I just look on like our Instagram feed and stuff now, and I'm just like, look at all these incredible women that are just, yeah, just in our world. And yeah, connection is massive, right? Like
yeah,
just kind of, I do always remember like joining FEA right in the beginning, so Female Entrepreneur Association. That's where we met, right? And my world used to be so small, and like it was just in my little town. And now it's so massive. It's all
yeah.
over the world thanks to the internet. Like I remember being on calls with people in like New York and Zimbabwe, and like, just it blew my mind. And that's kind of happened this year. We've built on incredible connections, we've made new ones, and yeah, it's just who you surround yourself with determines where you're going, right?
It
It
sure
really
does. It
does.
sure does. And talking about connections, we had what an incredible retreat we had in
Yeah. Oh,
February. So our
yes.
in-person retreat, that was a full circle moment for me. So I think this is something we'll
Yeah.
go into deeper, maybe
Yeah.
that's very aligned with when we chat more about your birth story with Evan, because that is the whole turning a vision into reality. We hosted a one-day retreat where we walked on fire. We walked on glass, we broke arrows with our necks, and then that's going to also be another story that Charlotte will share about one of her videos going viral, and how you navigated many different things that came with that. So I'll dangle that
Yeah.
carrot and we'll say that
Yeah.
for next time. But oh my gosh, what a day to have 30 women in this room doing
Mm,
things that they thought they couldn't do, doing the things that their mind said, not a chance, are you kidding me?
yeah.
And walking away with that to carry that forward, to continue that, to go, well, if I can do this, I can do bloody anything. And
Yeah.
oh my gosh, what they've been feeding back to us, what they've achieved, what they continue to do, their growth is absolutely phenomenal. So with that in mind, we've got our next retreat coming up, haven't we, in September? So
Yes, we
September,
have.
Saturday, September the 13th. So if you want to spend a day with us,
Hmm.
and an incredible co-host, Sam, we have got a beautiful day planned over in Worcestershire
Yeah.
way. So reach out to us. We'll drop something in the show notes on that. But yes, that was a retreat, and then we've spent the first 6 months of this year doing something
Yes,
pretty saucy, haven't we? Do you want to
we
reveal
have.
what we are, what we now? We can another label we can add to ourselves in a
Yes.
very proud way.
Yeah, a bit of a string to our bow, a couple of strings. We are now officially positive psychology coaches, guys, and also alcohol-free coaches. Who would have thought it?
I know,
Kat and Charlotte a
crazy.
few years ago certainly would not drinking a wine like
No, honestly, guys, when I tell you, I never thought those words would come out of my mouth. I mean that
yeah,
with depth. Like from somebody who drank, the shame of this, down the park when they were 14, big,
yes,
sorry, mum and dad, massive bottles of cider. And that continued right up until just before turning 40. Um,
yeah,
to now go, I'm an alcohol-free performance coach. I'm like, who the hell am I? Like, what's happened
yeah,
there? But I speak on behalf of both of us, don't I, Shah? It's one of the best decisions we have ever made in our lives. So
100%.
if you're a little sober curious, we are your ladies for that also. But
We
there is
are.
more to come on that later this year, which is very,
There
very
is.
exciting.
There
Very
is, and we've also
exciting.
been talking on stage. However, Evan has just woken up, and I am doing this in an nap time, guys. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
have
this is
to
our
wrap on
cue. This is
this.
our cue to wrap. Yes,
But
we've been
yeah,
guest speaking on stages.
oh,
Oh, you name it.
yeah,
We've been fucking it and finding out, guys,
we
haven't we?
have, we have, we
Haven't we?
absolutely have.
And this is your invitation to do exactly that. Don't wait
Yeah.
for the right time, because we know it doesn't appear. The right time is when you
Hmm.
make it the right time. Start before you're ready, begin, and know that we are here rooting for you every step of the way from the bottom of our hearts. We
We are.
believe in you. We truly, truly do.
It has been incredible to be back. Oh, we have absolutely loved it. And please do let us know that you're listening. Drop into our DMs on Instagram at the Authentic Girls Club and let us know how you found the first episode back. We cannot wait to connect with you, and we cannot wait to see you in the very next episode.
If this conversation lit something up inside of you, that's no accident. It's the spark of your next chapter. And that chapter starts now. We want to know, where are you at right now and where do you want to be? Come and tell us, DM us on Instagram at The Authentic Girls Club today, and let's talk about it, because when you say it out loud, you literally bring it to life. This is your moment. Don't wait for the perfect timing. Step in, be bold, and let's make it happen together.